Good morning, good morning. It is your host, Mr. RC. Thank you for tuning in to the Greater Thoughts Morning Show every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. You gotta tap in. If you know somebody that's not tapped in, you might want to go ahead and call them now. Tell them to tap in. They can go right on the untrappedmind.com. Might be the way you found out about me, but the untrappedmind.com, or they can go to wdrbmedia.com. They can listen to me on Apple Music, tune in. Just tell them to tap in. If they missed the show, if you missed the show, you can always go to greater the number 7 thoughts on YouTube, and follow the page on IG as well, Greater 7 Thoughts, to make sure you stay in touch with all the new things that I'm talking about, everything that's going on with me, everything that's going on as this show is continuing to grow. Today, well, before I even get into today, let me talk about last week real fast. Last week I had Alicia and Charlton Grant on here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and in the greater area. They run I-9 Sports. There are several locations that they have. If you have a child that needs to get a foundation, or you want to put your child in a location where it's family oriented, the language is not foul. Let me say that again. The language is not foul. There's not a lot of people out there that are in that let's say this area of mindset that there's a lot of bad language. I've had my older son, I should say, into some sports here in Charlotte, and sometimes the language was just totally inappropriate. Not just inappropriate for kids; it might be inappropriate. It was inappropriate for teenagers. Some of the language that I heard, even though the programs were with some of the elite athletes of the area coming up, but I-9 Sports doesn't give you that. They don't give you the foul language. I'll just go ahead and say it. There isn't weed smoking all in the parking lots. You know, they run a clean organization. They do soccer, football, baseball, basketball, and volleyball. I believe it's all the sports that they offer. So if you're in the Charlotte area, tap in with them. Now, moving on over to this week. I had a lot of things on my mind this past week as far as what I wanted to discuss. And it comes out that my daughter is the topic, or the reason for the topic of today. Just the other day, her and I let me say this. I get up and go to the gym about 4 days a week. Typically in the gym by 6 a.m. Tuesday, Thursdays, Fridays, Sundays. Where I'm in the gym. It's a bunch of other guys that I play ball with. And my daughter is wanting to try out for the basketball team next year. So she woke me up at 5 a.m. a couple days ago saying, "Daddy, I want to train." So no worries. Daddy will get up with you. Hey, men, if your children ask you to get up with them to do something because they're encouraged, don't push them off. I don't care if you don't wake up at 5 a.m. I don't care if you just got home from work at 3 a.m. I don't care what it is. Get up with your children. They will remember these times as they get older. Because look, there's a lot of times that we as adults remember the times that our children, well, we were children and our parents didn't get up with us. Our parents didn't do things with us that we wish they would have done. So now's your opportunity to take advantage. So I took advantage. I got up. Just so happens that my neighbor across the street owns Top Tiger Boxing. So if you are into boxing, that's another plug I'm gonna throw out there for my guy next, Mr. Andres. He owns Top Tiger Boxing overall from North Tryon. Great facility. So he was heading out to train someone, and he said, "You out here early this morning?" I said, "Yeah, she wants to start training." And he says, I said to him, I should come over to your facility." He said, "Come now." So I appreciate him. So my daughter and I hop in the car. We get over to the gym, and we get in the gym. And on the way there, I ask her, "Do you know how to jump rope?" Now I've seen her jump rope in the past, and it wasn't very good, but she was jumping rope. So we need to start working on footwork and building up her endurance and her tolerance for when it gets to the point that she's tired. And so we get to the gym. First thing I do is get her the jump rope. And so she goes from saying, Daddy, can you jump rope? I'm like, yeah, I jump rope. But I jump rope almost every time I go to the gym. Before I start playing ball, I try to get the rope out. Even if it's not before 30 seconds, because I don't have much time after I stretch, I still try to get a few seconds, few minutes in with the jump rope. So she looks at the way I'm jumping rope, and she sits there and discourages herself. Like, Daddy, I don't know if I could jump rope like you. I'm like, it's okay. Daddy didn't start jumping rope like this. See, everybody has a starting point. So remember that no matter what it is that you're doing in life, there's always a starting point. Sometimes we're looking at other people's success like it was their starting point, and that's not the case. Success doesn't come without a starting point. So it brings me to day 11 and day 17 in the book Greater Thoughts. So if you don't have a copy of book Greater Thoughts, please get on Amazon, order you a copy, or again, theuntrappedmind.com. So this is the Untrapped Mind copy of Greater Thoughts. And I'm working on something. There is going to be another Greater Thoughts. I'm thinking it'll come out sometime in 2025. I'm pretty sure it'll be out in 2025. That'll be the next version, the next chapter, the next series of books that I put out. So in Greater Thoughts on day 11, the quote of the day says, why believe in God? Let me say that again. Why believe in God but not believe in yourself when God's Spirit is within you? So if God's Spirit is within you and you believe that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, why is it that it's so difficult for so many of us to believe that God can do everything? God can do everything. God created the planet. God created the fish in the sea. God created the clouds up above, up below heaven. God created us, and God can do miraculous things. God can bring us all the desires of our heart. But then when you turn the page and the page says that faith without works is dead. And I'm going to stay right there for a second. Faith without works is dead means that you have to actually put effort and energy and work into it. God will allow you through grace and mercy to get through different obstacles. At the same time, those obstacles are there. You have to overcome them. You have to allow yourself and believe in yourself. So let me go back to the quote of the day. Why believe in God but not believe in yourself? So you have to take the time, take the initiative to move forward. You know, a lot of people have asked me, how does it feel to be retired? That's you retire from enterprise. How does it feel to be retired? Well, I retired from enterprise, but it was only to move forward in my life to do something different. And it feels good. It feels great. Let me just go ahead and say it. It feels good. It feels great. I'm appreciative that I personally took the took the thought process and turned it into action. I say that every show, but I took the thought process and turned it into action to go be great. And the only way you can be great is to believe in yourself. And believe me, there are times where I'm like, man, I don't know about recording the show today. There are times where I think about the quotes in my book and I'm like, man, come on. I don't feel like believing that right now. But at the end of the day, every single thing I wrote in the book, when I put it to action, it allows me growth. And let me tell you, anyone that's, let's say, a bodybuilder, that didn't want to go to the gym, but went to the gym anyway, did the work, left the gym. They didn't regret that they went to the gym afterwards. And the gains that the body gets, that the mind gets, is great. You're gonna grow. And so what I'm suggesting is that if you're in a mindset that has you in disbelief of yourself, I want you to take a moment and just start reflecting on the fact that the Spirit of God is in you. So all the things that you believe in God to do in your life, know that you have to take a step forth to make it come to fruition. For it to manifest or gotta fest, you have to take a step forward to see it happen. Things don't just, as they say, fall out the sky. You have to do some work. And so what I had my daughter do was just jump rope, because when she started jumping, she's jumping in like a skip. She was jumping in like a hop. She wasn't jumping straight up in the air so that the rope can go under her feet. So, she had to work on her technique. As she worked on the technique of swinging the rope from behind her to over her head to in front of her, she had to then pay attention to where the rope was and then hop up in the air, jump in the air so she can get over the rope. At first, it was only one time around, and then she get excited or discouraged because she wasn't swinging the rope around for the second time. So she get excited and then she moved too fast. So you got to be, yeah, that's a good thing right there. Let me say that. You have to celebrate the small victories, but don't get so caught up in the small victory that you fail to continue to move forward so that you can have continuous victories. See, your faith grows incrementally sometimes. So what happens is when you accomplish something small, that gives you the faith to move forward to accomplish the next step. So for my daughter, it was accomplishing that first jump. And then once she did the first one, she realized, now let me give her a little leeway here. The rope was an adult rope. She's 10 years old, so she had to, wrap the rope around her hand a time or two and hold it. So it was a little bit more difficult than just a regular kid rope. At the same time, she was growing. And so after the first time she got the over the rope once, then it was, now let's get it to twice. Once she got to twice, and now let's get it to three times. And the more she continued, the more success she had, the bigger the smile was on her face. So we want to make sure that we believe in ourselves, because see, all that power that you know that God has given to us as well. And so never think about the fact that God is so powerful that he can do all things, but I can do nothing, because that's not true. But I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So always remember that your positivity and your strength comes from putting in the work. That work that you put in allows your faith to grow. Like I said, incrementally sometimes. Sometimes you get a large jump. You get a big step. Instead of a little step, you take a leap. Instead of a leap, you take a bound. I mean, sometimes it grows just that fast. You know, once you catch on to something, or to that thing that you are thanking God for. That's another one. Let me say that to you. Thanking God in advance for your future benefit, for your future growth. That will help you as well as you visualize where it is you're going to be. Like I was telling my daughter, like, don't look at where daddy is. Yes, daddy can jump on one foot. Daddy can jump on the other foot. I can alternate feet while I'm jumping. That has nothing to do with where you are. And then she said to me, well, I don't want to be embarrassed. Hey, sometimes you have to turn blinders on to where everybody else is. I'll give you an example. Sometimes we look at things through the lens of social media. And when we look at things through the lens of social media, we're looking at where everybody else is. And then that's taken away from where we are in our mindset for where we're going and where we are at the moment. We have to take these situations and go moment by moment as we grow and not look at the lens of social media where someone else didn't show us all that they've went through. What they show us is where they are now. And where they are now looks great. I mean, it looks great. Everything is perfect. They're all smiles. You didn't get to see their trials. You didn't get to see their tribulation. You didn't get to see the days that they were laying in the bed and didn't want to get out the bed and say, I give up. But what you do see is the big house. You see the swimming pool in the backyard. You see the Ferrari. You see, if they're married, you see their spouse in Louis and Gucci and Balenciaga and so on and so forth. But you don't see that they used to wear clothes from Walmart or Target. You know, that's someone's life that they're showing you the good parts of. Your good part is ahead of you. Just know that as you grow faith by faith, bit by bit, as you continue to appreciate the small victories along the way. So, what I'm saying to you is never forget that God's Spirit lives within you. As long as you remember that God's Spirit is within you, then you will be able to do all things. Don't forget that He's put that in you for the purpose of believing in yourself. And with Him and your work that you're doing, you'll be fine when it comes to trials and tribulations. You'll be just fine. Listen, this day 11 was real strong for me when I was writing the book because it's like, man, I know so many people that tell me that they believing on God for this, they believing on God for that, they're believing in God for this. And it's like, okay, well, let me ask you, what do you believe in yourself for? Well, I just can't do this and I just can't do that. And I don't know how I could do it. And I don't know. And I read a book called Who Not How. So instead of worrying about how, look at a little bit more about who. Who is it that you know that can help you in that area that you're challenged or that you want to be successful in? And that's a good book for you. If you haven't picked up a copy of that, that's a good book. Again, that book is called Who Not How. But you know, God is the how. God is the how to when it comes to accomplishing things. God is the how to when it comes to speaking life into yourself. Speak life, knowing that you're speaking to the Spirit of God that's within you. And then as you take these accomplishments, small ones and large ones, and be grateful for them, your faith will continue to grow, bit by bit until you have a big ball of faith. And then when the challenges come, you can say, well, that spirit that's in me, that God that I believe in, will help me get through this too. And this leads me into the thought process of day 17. And this was really good. It really reminded me of when I was, I think, 23, 22, 23 years old, and I did door-to-door sales. And day 17 says, allow yourself to be uncomfortable. So let me tell you something. Door-to-door sales is something that will make you uncomfortable. You will be in environments, at least I was in environments of all different types. I was in Falls Church, Virginia, as the headquarters of that business. But I would be in areas such as Northwest DC. I will be in Southeast DC, not very frequently, but I was in Southeast DC doing door-to-door sales. I will be in Great Falls, Virginia. If you know anything about Great Falls, Virginia, that area is full of wealthy people. I did some areas in West Virginia and Charleston as well. And I even did some stuff down in Roanoke, a golf course back in the day. I don't know if it's still there. I'm not a golfer, but a real nice golf course called Draper's Valley. I worked in Miami. So I worked in all different types of areas. And believe me, there is some discomfort in going into areas where you know no one and you're looking to get people to purchase something from you. And you have to be okay with walking up to a door and someone slamming it. You have to be okay with walking up to a door and someone cursing at you. You also have to be okay with walking up to the door and someone purchases 10 of whatever it is that you sell or even more. And I've been through all those scenarios. But you have to allow yourself to be uncomfortable. The reason you have to allow yourself to be uncomfortable is very important. That there's growth that's required. Okay? Well, let me rephrase that. Growth requires you to be uncomfortable to expand your comfort zone. So, in order to be comfortable in a situation, you have to first be uncomfortable, if I can say it that way. So, allow yourself to be uncomfortable because growth requires you to expand your comfort zone. And whenever you're doing something new, you're expanding your comfort zone. So, I'm tying 17 and 11 in together today. As you believe in God, now you have to put that faith that you have in God into yourself. How do you do that? You have to go and put yourself in a situation that's uncomfortable. I'll say that again. You have to put yourself in a situation that is uncomfortable. It doesn't always feel good to walk out your faith. You want a new job? It's going to require you to do some applications. Those applications and applying at places is not going to always be easy because more than likely you want a job that takes you from one place to the next place. It's taking you from one level to a higher level. That means that you're going to have to do something that you weren't doing before. Sometimes there's discomfort in that. So you want to look at how is it that I take myself from the level A to move to level Z, the end of the alphabet. Because like I said, a lot of times we're looking at somebody's Z, but we still at A. And we're trying to figure out how it is that we get to Z when we're at A. Just know that there's B, C, D, E, F all the way through before you get to Z. And there's going to be places of discomfort as you travel through the alphabet. Every letter is going to come with a different challenge as you continue to grow. If you're into karate, you start off with one belt, you move to the next belt, you move to the next belt. Eventually, if you stay with it, that's the key, stay with it, you'll become a black belt. But let me tell you something. Every person that's done martial arts and have made it to the level of a black belt has gone through areas of discomfort. They've gone through areas where it was very difficult. They've gone through areas where I know some people that are in martial arts that have had broken bones. Wouldn't say that that's uncommon. Well, guess what? Now you have to learn to how to fight while you have a soreness, because you got to heal first. But when you come back, you're not going to be in tip top shape. You're going to be sore. It's going to still have some remnants of how that broken bone happened in your mindset. So you have to overcome that in your mindset. There's a lot of pro athletes that have these challenges where they get hurt, tear an ACL, tear an Achilles, and when they come back, they're not the same player because it's in their mind. Well, guess what? The Spirit of God is within you. So now you know that you can overcome it because God is the healer. When you know God is a healer because he healed your bone, you know that he can also heal your mind. So you want to continue to move forward through discomfort. So it's okay to be uncomfortable. My daughter was saying, she didn't want to be embarrassed while jumping rope. Well, baby, don't worry about being embarrassed. If you need to, turn your back to the crowd. That way, the only thing you see is what's in front of you. Turn your back to the crowd and then jump. They can't see you. If they can't see you, if you can't see them, you don't have to worry about what they see. You just keep jumping. Because what happens is as you keep jumping and you keep staying focused on what it is you're doing and not worrying about what the others are doing, you'll get better. And the better you get, the better it is for you. And your growth comes, right? And as your growth comes, now when you turn around, you're not just jumping in the rope 1, 2, 3 times. Now you can go 30 seconds full speed. Now you can go 5 minutes before you take a break. And those things are where your new level of excitement comes in. And that discomfort that you started with now turns into something totally different. It turns into a new level of faith for yourself. It turns into a happiness. It turns into a joy. It turns into a new level of belief. And then you can take that into every walk of life. So what I want to remind everybody of is, first, go get your book of Greater Thoughts if you don't have a copy. But I want you to remember, the Spirit of God lives within you. And it's okay to be uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable in a situation, it is going to make it so that you grow. So when that situation occurs again, the uncomfortableness decreases. And the more and more that you do it, before you know it, you won't be uncomfortable anymore, and you will have grown in that area. So don't forget that the Spirit of God is within you. So don't just believe in God, but believe in yourself as well. Hey, before I go to song and leave you, I have to remind you, all success starts with a thought. Take those thoughts, turn them into action, and go be great. God bless.
In the silence of the night, when doubt creeps in, I hear that whispering voice pulling me from within. The weight of the world tries to break my soul, but I rise from the ashes, determined and whole. With every step, I'm reclaiming my grace. Positive thoughts lighting up my space. I'm breaking these chains with love in my heart, embracing my journey. It's just the start. No more doubts or fears, I'll find my way. In greater thoughts, I'm here to stay. Callings writes the path for my heart and my mind. I'm trapped and free, I leave shadows behind. Embracing the light where positivity flows. In the garden of hope, every flower grows. Daily affirmations shape my reality, empowering my spirit, igniting vitality. I'm breaking these chains with love in my heart, embracing my journey. It's just the start. No more doubts or fears, I'll find my way. In greater thoughts, I'm here to stay. Daily affirmations shape my reality, empowering my spirit, igniting vitality. I'm breaking these chains with love in my heart, embracing my journey. It's just the start. No more doubts or fears, I'll find my way. In greater thoughts, I'm here to stay. With an untrapped mind, I'm finally free. Living for today, just be